In this video, I'll explain the effect of the commencement values in a divorce accrual calculation. So commencement values are defined in the prenup, and each party lists all their assets, values the assets and deduct the liabilities at the time, and then the commencement value for each party is determined. This value then needs to be adjusted by inflation for the duration of the marriage up to the dissolution date. And to do that, you need to use CPI values. So in this video, I'll show you how to do that. The first step is to get the appropriate CPI table. And that you can do by just Googling CPI table B1 South Africa. You should get the first result, CPI headline index numbers, and if you click that, it'll open a PDF file with CPI history index values. So you would then go and determine what the value was at the date of the marriage commencement. So say it's March 2014, then you would use that value of 70.2. The dissolution date may not have occurred at the time of the first calculation, so then you'll just use the latest value. So in this case, the latest value is 112.8, and the value that I mentioned for March 2014 is 70.2. So what you'll basically do is divide the latest value by the value at the commencement date, and the result will be a factor which you can multiply by the commencement value of each of the parties. If you use our template, that could be really simple to do. So in the template, there's a setup sheet, and there's a CPI at commencement value and a CPI at dissolution value. We used a different date in this example to get to the 106.8, but it's basically that divided by the initial commencement value gives you the factor of 1.52, and that is then multiplied by each party's commencement value. So if you go to the calculation, it starts with assets for each party, liabilities are deducted to get to a net estate value, and then this commencement value, inflation adjusted, is basically those commencement values that we had on the setup sheet multiplied by this CPI factor to get to an inflation adjusted value for each of the parties, which is then deducted from the net estate to get to a net accrual value. So that's how you adjust your commencement values as defined in your prenup by the CPI inflation index values to get to an inflation adjusted commencement value, which is applied and then deducted from your net estate to get to your net accrual value. Much easier when you use our unique template.